Starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Your host, Craig Proctor.
Welcome, everyone. We have some ads to look at today on our ad clinic. So we're going to get right into it, and we'll make this interactive today. We're going to stop from time to time and take your questions. Of course, you can type in your questions at any time with the chat. There's 3 ways for you to interact with us today: by typing in your questions or by audio. So we're going to have a look at ad number 1 here in a minute. Just give everybody a chance to get themselves organized. Okay, so let's have a look at ad number 1. Ad number 1 is in French, and I'm guessing that what it says is 27 tips. That's what I believe that says. So that's a display ad. Everyone understands that's a display ad, and it has a domain name. Great, with a www in front of it, as we should, and pre-recorded information and the 800 number. So can't say I can translate all of that, but that looks pretty good. Overall, I like the positioning, and that looks like a good ad to me. So let's go on to ad number 2. All right, ad number 2. Okay, this is a branded ad. Everybody can see that. Royal LePage. And we've got our Realtor members at the bottom, which is good. You always want your benefit at the top of the ad. Okay, that's your headline. Okay, the headline is the ad for the ad. In many cases, we see our members, doing the wrong thing. At the top of their ad, they would have Royal LePage, their company name. At the top of the ad, they would have maybe pictures of themselves or whatever, their designations. So I like the fact that that's not what's happening here. Okay, Royal LePage, the company name, the agents at the bottom, and the biggest benefit is where it should be, in the headline at the top. The headline says, "Find your dream home in 73 days, or I will pay your first month's mortgage payment." Well, that's a new one. Okay, I've never heard of that one before. Don't know how that works, but maybe we can hear from our member if they're with us here today. We can hear how the response was on this. So visit realtyperfection.com for all property listings. Now, I would probably say this. Your call to action here is not congruent with your offer. Can everybody see that? The offer is find your dream home in 73 days, or I will pay your first month's mortgage payment. So the call to action, the visit, should say, for more information on how this program works, click here. Oh, by the way, keep on that one for a second. I wanted to say the display ads in the middle, very hard to read. White type on a red background is very, very hard to read. I like the placement. I like where they are, but I would have done that with black type on a plain white background.
When we saw this ad, they had that before, and they changed it, and it was much better. You would be able to read it when it was the black on the white.
Yeah, is it just my eyeballs, Andrea? Does that look like it's hard to read?
It is. It doesn't stand out like it did before when the must sell was in the bottom left-hand corner.
Okay, so I take it this is an ad we've looked at in a prior ad clinic.
Yes, James recommended that they move the must sell to the middle.
Okay, well, I do like that location better for sure. And the headline's it's a good offer. I'm interested in knowing how it worked, but where we're driving them, I don't know. That just doesn't seem to. Okay, I like how the must sell ad is, right up in the top right-hand corner of the page here. That's an excellent location. Definitely stands out. I like the yellow background. Must sell, bank foreclosures, distress sales, fixer-uppers, free list with pics, but no domain name. So kind of interested why there's only an 800 number. I would definitely have a domain name there as well. I like everything else about this, but how do I get this information online? Okay, no option for that at all, and you're going to severely limit your response by only offering one of the two mechanisms. Okay, ideally, we want to offer prospects two ways to get the information. Okay, they can come to our website or they can call into the hotline. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, ad number 4 is in reverse, white type on a black background, right smack dab in the middle of the page here. It says bank-owned homes. Okay, the thing that stands out to me here is there's no www in front of the domain name. So it looks like it says PeninsulaDistressHomes.com. We should look at that as well, Andrea.
Okay.
But there's no www. And I kind of get that because you don't have room to stick it in without making the domain name really, really small, although that www still tells the world it's a website. Imagine taking your phone number and you don't have the dashes in between the numbers. Imagine just taking all the digits and jamming them together. It's the dashes between the numbers in a phone number that tells it's a phone number. Well, it's the www that tells the world this is a domain name. Okay, now you may argue, well, it's got .com at the end and everybody knows that, but still I'd prefer you do that. Put that www in there. Okay, so we're going to the distress sale landing page, and that looks like a good landing page. Let's go back to the ad again. Okay, bank-owned homes, so that's a congruent, that the landing page is congruent with the offer that we're making here in the ad. Now, because you've got such a long domain name here, I would do one of two things. If you take a look at my ads, I either, if I'm going to run a vertical ad like this, right, it's tall but not wide, then you need to have domain names that aren't near as long. If you've got a long domain name like this, you've got to run the ads horizontally. And you would see a lot of my ads were in fact run horizontally. Why? Because I could fit in the domain name on one line. And the worst mistake to make would be to split the domain name onto 2 lines, because you know that the prospect's definitely going to mess that up. Sometimes the newspaper even puts a hyphen in when they drop it down into the second line, which is a disaster. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, we're on ad number 5. Looks like ad number 5 and ad number 6 appear to be proofs. Okay, they haven't run yet. So ad number 5 says, we sell your home in 44 days. We sell your home in 44 days, guaranteed, or we'll sell it for free. Visit www.44days.com or call for pre-recorded information. So let's go to 44days.com. Hopefully this has something to do with the offer. And it does. We'll sell your home in 44 days, guaranteed, and we'll sell it for free. For more information, please complete all fields. Okay, so I like this. It's going to the right page. Can everyone see this? That the landing page is congruent with the offer. Let's go to the next one. Ad number 6. Find out what your home is worth online, MontrealOnlineHomeEvaluation.com. By the way, that's an excellent domain name. That's a really, really, really good domain name. And with any luck, we're going to go to the less branded, quick over the net home evaluation page, and that's what we've got here. Okay, so good job. Excellent domain name, and it points to the right place. I don't know what this is. This might be an ad on, maybe on Facebook.
I think so.
You think so? Okay. Let's go to the domain name, see what happens.
Sorry for the delay.
Fixer-upper properties. Okay, well, we're going to the right spot. Okay, so good. It works. You click on it, it goes to the right spot. Okay, ad number 8. I would probably lose the picture of these two. Here's the deal with advertising. You're paying for this postcard, right? So does the picture of this couple add to the response? Does it add to the response? Does it cause more people to read and respond to the postcard? Or could you use that space making better arguments, making a more enticing offer? And probably, but it's worth a test. My gut tells me that the picture probably doesn't add to response. You could use that space doing something different. For example, there's no domain name here at all, and you don't even have room for a domain name because you got the picture of the couple. So you probably want to have both, right? Have the 800 number, and you want to have the domain name. So, why rent when you can own.com? So unfortunately, we can't go to the landing page because there is no landing page on this postcard. Okay, number 9. This is from Paul. Paul's one of our veterans. He knows what he's doing. He's always got good stuff. So let's have a look at Paul's headline here. Your Ballard home sold in 29 days or less at a price acceptable to you, guaranteed. Paul will pay you $3,000 cash. So sold in 29 days or less at a price acceptable to you, or Paul will pay you $3,000 cash. For a free report that explains this offer, call Paul or visit BallardHomeSaleGuarantee.com. So you got two options here for your prospect. You can either call Paul directly, which the best prospects will, but we know a lot of prospects don't want to have an interaction with the salesperson yet. They just want to gather information. They're going to go to Paul's domain name, and they are going to find a landing page that's congruent with the offer that he's making. Your home sold in 29 days or less at a price acceptable to you, or we'll pay you $3,000 cash. Okay, good stuff. All right, we're whipping through these. I don't know what this is. It kind of looks like our member here has, created a little homemade ad on a piece of paper, cut it out, and laid it on top of a page, a newspaper page, and just took a picture of it. That's what it looks like to me. But anyway, let's see if I can read this thing. It says, must sell in High Park, Bloor West Village. Fixer-uppers, bank foreclosures, power of sale, distress sales, free list with pictures, and then some domain name that I can't read, and then the 800 number. So I think the concept's good. It doesn't appear to be an actual ad, but I guess the idea is they're sending in what they propose, what they're going to run. And from what I can see here, it looks pretty good. Can you read that domain name?
I believe so. It's Bloor West Must Sell.
Let's go to the next one. Number 11. So we've got some display ads, 2 of them. Home sellers. Find out what the North Valley home down the street sold for. So I like it specific, targeting North Valley. Free computerized list with pictures of area home sales and current listings. So www.homesalesnextdoor.com or free recorded message. I like it. Let's look at below. Distress sales. North Valley bank foreclosures. Free list of bank-owned properties, $350,000 and up. Receive a free computerized printout. Daily. I wouldn't say daily. I wouldn't do that. Because if you're promising them in the ad that you're going to send this information daily, what are you going to use as a hook to get face-to-face with them when you follow up with them on the telephone, right? You want to reserve the daily emails as the hook, the benefit for them to meet with you. If you're already promising them in the ad that you're going to send it to them daily, then when you follow up with them and you say, well, when can we get together so I can send you all the hot new listings every day that match your criteria, they're going to say, well, you know, you've already promised me you're going to do that. So no need to meet with you, which means no buyer contract, no commitment, and that's not what we want. Okay, let's compare this. Let's compare this page to mine. So free hot list. Receive a free list of foreclosure and distress sale listings. That one's not bad. Let's go to the next ad.
And I believe we're on ad number 12, the final ad.
All right, final ad. So we're going to take some questions and comments. Hey, we got lots of time for interaction today, questions and comments today. All right, this ad obviously is a branded ad. No question. No question, this is a branded ad. Find your dream home within 90 days or Santra will pay your first month mortgage in cash. Okay, so there is no non-threatening way for a prospect to raise their hands that's evident in the headline. Okay, in big font below the picture is a cell number, so I've got to call a scary salesperson. And then we've got besttorontohomesforsale.com. Let's go there and see what we find there. But here's the deal. Just because we know what we're offering doesn't mean the prospect knows what we're offering. And if we're expecting the prospect to take that big leap and call us, a salesperson, to find out how the thing works, you're going to dramatically suppress your response. So when you make an offer like this, you always want to have a non-threatening way for them to get more information. So, you know, the appropriate thing would be to get more information on how this program can benefit you. Visit www whatever. Okay, so so branded advertising should go to a branded site. And when you make an offer, when you've got a USP, a unique selling proposition in your headline, there needs to be a call to action. You need to tell people what to do. The only thing that I can take, if we go back to the ad there, I can take from this is, well, if I'm a prospect and I'm interested, the only call to action appears to be call with Santa on his cell phone. Now, will some of them do it? Yeah, absolutely. The best ones will do that, but a lot of prospects won't. What about those people that are like on the fence and they maybe don't want to contact a real estate agent yet? Your website's way down there, and even if they did go to your website, it's got nothing to do with the offer in your headline. So, you got the right idea, but it can be, the response can be improved. I'm going to suggest that if you've run this ad, you didn't get too many people contacting you because you made it very difficult for them to do that. All right, well, we'll take some questions.
Okay, you can take questions by either putting them in the chat or the Q&A chat box, and I will address them. Or if you have a mic or you're on the phone, you can press the hand icon that is on your control panel, and it's to the top left, and it's a little hand. All you have to do is click on it, and then I will see that you would like to speak into the call. We'll go with the chat first. How can I use office listings to advertise effectively as I have no listings of my own?
Okay. Well, there's nothing like a page full of listings to attract eyeballs. You can have the greatest ad in the world, but if nobody sees your ad, it can't be responded to. So does that make sense to everybody? Your ad must be seen before it can be responded to. Can you go take us, Andrea, to some of the to one of the ads where we've got a lot of listings and we've got a couple of display ads in the middle.
Okay, that was.
Because I want to show everybody the idea here and why this works. Okay, so if you take a look at this ad here, it's the houses that attract the buyer's eyeballs. But the problem is, we know as real estate agents, the problem with advertising any specific listing is listings have very narrow appeal. Okay, in fact, many realtors design their ads, mistakenly, they design their ads to actually repel people. They say things like 2-bedroom, corner lot, in-ground pool, and they're actually paying to cause people not to respond. So what I discovered many, many years ago is when I was advertising my listings, the pictures of the houses were like a magnet to buyers' eyeballs. because buyers want houses. Just like, when you and I are looking for a car, we would be attracted to an ad that had pictures of cars. So what I discovered here is the ad with the ads with lots of pictures of houses get lots of eyeballs, but as I just mentioned, they're easy to eliminate because advertising a house is a very narrow funnel. So when you boil these listings, what I'd recommend is you randomly pepper amongst those listings the display ads that we see here. The display ads have a much wider funnel. You see, the distress sale ad appeals to like everybody, but your listing on Main Street does not. So that was always my strategy when I was advertising my listings is, yes, I need to pacify my sellers perhaps, but I know that advertising the listings will attract a lot of eyeballs, but when those eyeballs are on my page, I need to make universal offers. I need to offer something that everybody wants, and that is not, it's not my listings. So that's what I would recommend is you boil listings and you run an ad like this, and peppered in there are your display ads.
Okay, I will go to the next question. And it's from Nawal. We learned about all the guarantees that we offer to our clients in a listing presentation, including the list of terms and conditions. Where do I find a listing presentation with the 6 satisfaction guarantees and the condition terms that are related to each guarantee? I believe that can be found on the coaching site, right, Craig?
I think so. I'll tell you what, though, if you can't find it, I can send you that. The conditions, I think, are pretty much in each one of those 6 satisfaction guarantees, Noel, the conditions are pretty much explained right there in when we're articulating each one of those guarantees. So there is no, like certificate explaining the conditions because I think the conditions are pretty clear. So I never found I needed to do that. Like, we're going to have an offer your house in 29 days, and every week after that we don't have an offer, we're going to deduct a further $100 to a maximum of $1,000. I think that's pretty darn clear. But if you want to create additional collateral material, you can. I just don't have it. But as far as those 6 guarantees, what we can send you are the actual slides that I used in my listing presentation, if you can't find them on the coaching site. And, feel free to customize them. See, the idea was, instead of having one performance guarantee with those 6 satisfaction guarantees, we've got 6 in a row. So that really sets you apart. That impresses the seller when you say, look, I'm going to guarantee that we're going to call you and communicate with you. I'm going to guarantee that we're going to guarantee our price, that I'm going to tell you a realistic price, and here's what happens if I'm wrong about the price. I'm going to guarantee the time it's going to take to sell your home. I'm going to guarantee that everything I said about myself is true, or this is what's going to happen. So, yeah, you're right. It's an amazing part of your listing presentation. So if you, for whatever reason, can't find that in the coaching site, just email Ruth at qlsystem.com, and I'll have her send you those 6 slides right out of my listing presentation.
Okay, we have an audio question. We're going to try with Richard Drainville. Your mic is open. Please go ahead.
Hello, Craig. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, Richard.
I'm fairly new at this. I've never run any ads, either advertising in magazines or newspapers or Craigslist for that matter. Craigslist is even new to me. I was in the cosmetics business before this, and advertising was totally different. I've tried running a couple of Craigslist ads and got absolutely nothing, no response whatsoever. I'm just wondering, I've kind of screened through Craigslist ads and KGGs, and it seems like there are a lot of similar ads with similar photos. And if a prospect obviously checks more than one, he can see the duplication of photo and so on.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
You think there's
always worry about the response that you get. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about what other people are doing.
Well, I'm not necessarily worrying. I guess I'm trying to see what's being done otherwise in the marketplace.
One of the things that disturbs me is you said you're running the ads that Success website told you to run?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, well, told me.
Don't do that.
Well, you know, Rick Brash obviously mentioned a couple of ads that I should be running, and those are the ones technically.
You want to run our ads. I have no idea what Success website has in their control panel, but you know how today we've talked about how some of the landing pages aren't correct?
Yes.
I'm assuming that some of the ads that they may be giving you are not exactly what I would recommend. So since you're a member of the program, you can go to the coaching site and you can access all the ads that I recommend.
Okay, what I try to do, of course, is check the ad before it's actually posted. I want to make sure I'll send a message to the ad asking for information and see what kind of reply I get before posting it, just to make sure that it's a proper landing page. But I spoke to someone in the U.S. yesterday that runs like a phenomenal number of Craigslist ads per day. Like, you know, he's with the Craigslist program, runs like 50 to 80 ads per day. And it's phenomenal to me. Like, how can you do this and be able to handle this? I think
they don't do it themselves. They would have someone do it for them.
Because I think it makes sense to run much more than 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 ads.
Well, you know, the argument is if you're in the middle of a lake, you know, you're going to catch more fish with 1 line in the water or 20 lines in the water or 80 lines in the water. So, but as I said before, Craigslist does not work universally well for everybody. Some of you are going to find that other mediums, other methods of delivering your message to your market are going to work better. The attraction with Craigslist is the fact that it's free. So definitely it's one of the first things you should try, because if you can generate leads and it doesn't cost you anything, then there's no downside. So,
well, it costs time, unfortunately, Craig. That's the issue, and that's why I've got something on with Chrissy this afternoon, of course, to talk about something else, and maybe Google pay-per-click and so on. Like, in your estimation, what is the better payback on this type of thing? Because
I can tell you,
Craigslist,
for me, Craigslist was not a big part of successful marketing. Did I generate leads from it? Yes. Did I generate sales from it? Not many.
Okay.
So do we want to focus on sales, or do we want to focus on leads? And here's the problem with Craigslist for some of us. Some of us run ads on Craigslist, we get quality leads and it works, and if that's you, great. But if that's not you, don't stick with something that doesn't work, right? There's many, the great thing about real estate, there's many great ways for us to deliver our message, many different mediums. I personally found that the quality of the leads wasn't as good as an ad that I may pay for. Now, people might step back and go, well, hang on a second. So you'd rather spend, Craig, you'd rather spend $100 on an ad than run, you know, ads for free on Craigslist? If I get a much higher quality, let's say I run a $100 ad. Okay, I spend $100, wherever it is, I spend $100 on it. Even if I got one high quality listing, and my average commission is $10,000.
Of course.
Okay,
yeah,
that's far better than free, right?
I totally agree with this. Totally agree.
Okay, so here's how we figure it out. Because the real truth is that I can't tell you what's going to work best for you, but the marketplace will tell you. I can give you some guidance on, you know, here's what I did, here's what I think, but it's going to be up to each one of us as individuals to test the different ads and test the different mediums so you can understand what approaches are going to work the best for you. You know, and it comes down to, well, who do you want to target? Do you want to target buyers? Do you want to target sellers? If it's buyers, that breaks into subsets, right? Is it luxury home buyers? Is it move-up buyers? Is it first-time buyers? With sellers, you got the same deal. Is it that neighborhood or this price range? Is it condos? Is it only luxury home sellers? So you want to do some research on MLS to, you know, really think about, well, who is it that I want to target based on turnover and price range? Then after you decide the target market, then and only then you decide the ad. See, most real estate agents do it backwards. They pick the ad first without giving any consideration to the target market. And then as far as how you're going to deliver the message, Craigslist, you tried it. So you keep trying. It doesn't cost anything. But at the same time, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So you want to try maybe some print advertising, some of the local papers. You want to try Google pay-per-click. You want to try some flyers and postcards. You want to try sign riders on your listings. You know, there's radio, there's television. There's so many different things that we can experiment with. And far too many times we see members that get locked into, you know, a couple of the ads or one or two mediums, and they work, you know, far too hard to generate leads than maybe other options that they just aren't aware of because they haven't tried it.
Yeah, because in the meantime, you blow a lot of time, and you know, you want to get to the right.
Well, even if Craigslist is the thing for you, it's not dollar productive, right? You're not worth $8 an hour, but you can hire somebody for $8 an hour to repost the ads. And these agents that you're talking to, they're putting 80 on. I guarantee they're not doing it themselves. Now, I don't know if you've got a teenage son or daughter or niece or nephew. Perfect. Have them do it. You know, plus, you know, I've got teenagers. They're better at it than we are anyway, so let them do it. Just somebody needs to post them over and over again. So you've got to determine, A, is this going to work for you? Is Craigslist going to generate enough leads and enough quality leads, enough sales? And if so, the next question is, well, who's going to post these leads? Because every time you're doing that, you ain't doing something else. So we've got to look at our time opportunity cost, and we want to make sure that we have enough time to actually work on our business, like coming on calls like this and working on your marketing and calling back the leads. We all have to do a really good job of analyzing how we spend our time, the activities that we're involved in. And posting ads on Craigslist would be no different than, I don't know, you getting keys cut or taking pictures or making feature sheets. Anybody can do that stuff.
Calling back leads is definitely, you know, the thing I want to spend the most time at. There's no doubt, or a good portion of my time at.
That is the biggest rainmaker activity. If I couldn't do anything else in my real estate business, I would rather make the calls myself, set up the appointments, and send my agents out on the appointments. No one will be more motivated or more skilled at making those calls than you.
But first we've got to generate those leads.
Well, you got to have someone to call, yeah. So you know, and look at it this way: even though you run something that didn't work, think about this: you learned something. You know,
of course.
In a way, you've learned. Well, that didn't work, so you can scratch that one off the list and move to the next. You know, it could be the ad on Craigslist that's the problem too.
Sure, we're able to talk about it right now. You know, that's a fact.
So it is a process, and some of our members, they get lucky right off the get-go. Whatever they do, it works, and they're generating leads, and they're making lots of money. And those are the people you hear on these calls saying, "Wow, I just can't believe this. You know, I struggled for years. I was cold calling and knocking on doors, and it was a lot of work. It was painful trying to find buyers and sellers. And now, Craig, it's easy." And then we have others that it takes them a couple weeks or a couple months to kind of figure this out. But once you have it figured out, it's rinse and repeat, right? Because once you find out what works, you just keep doing it every single week. And that brings certainty and predictability into your business because, you know, when I do this, when I run this campaign, I generate, let's say, 8 leads. And when I run this campaign, I generate 10 leads. Well, there's 18 leads that you know you're going to generate pretty much every time that happens.
No, I joined this program actually because of testimonials of that type, you know, of individuals or people in the business for quite some time. That
okay, so now we need to get you in a position so you can give me a testimonial like that.
I seem to have a hard time. Rick Brash.
Rick Brash.
Yeah.
We need to get this working. So email Rick. Tell him you were talking to me today, and let's have him analyze what you're doing, and let's make sure you're experimenting with a lot of different techniques, a lot of different ads, a lot of different mediums, so you're not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, we've had this discussion actually just before I left, and I've got a call lined up. In the meantime, I can't sit still for damn sure. So I'm taking in these programs that you're putting on, and
go run a couple classified ads right off of our website. Forget the Success website. Go to my website, click on classified ads, and run some of them in the local paper.
Well, what I'm referring to about Success is, of course, working with them to get used to the database, to the back office. It's relatively new. You've got, fortunately, someone like Andrea to do this, and that's what I need, I guess, is someone like that. Because
well, look, all you really need in the back end is you need to access in the control panel is you need to be able to access the results. You want to know how many visitors you had and how many people left a message, or how many leads.
But even posting ads, we ran into some issues. I tried to post 3 ads, and even with the help of some Success people, and we ran into issues, ran into problems with a couple of areas where it took a couple hours to figure out, what was wrong.
That shouldn't happen.
But anyways, those are details, and that's why Christy was away last week also, and Rick recommended I work with her.
Yeah, she's probably the best one to talk to.
We have a call on this afternoon to talk about it. Thanks a lot. I appreciate all of this.
Okay, well, look, you'll get it figured out. Hang in there.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Our next participant is Stephen Porter. I'm going to open up his mic now. Stephen, your line is live.
Hello.
Hi, Stephen.
Hey, how you doing, Craig?
I'm really good. Yourself?
Not too bad, thanks. Not too bad. You're not getting any computer noise over the mic, are you?
No, it sounds fine.
Okay, great. Listen, I just had a question about my ad. I think it was number 2 or 3. It's your lug ad. It's not the one that Andrea has up now. It's the one with the big yellow circle around the top, Andrea.
Ad number 3, I have it up now.
Yeah. No, I like your position, but you've got no domain name.
That's my question. I can't fit a domain name in with the space without turning all the rest of the ad into mice type. So I'm either stuck with either the hotline or a domain name. So that was my question. Or change the ad altogether. What would be your suggestion?
Let's see what I would do here. Well, I would definitely try to fit in that. I'd make everything smaller.
Okay.
If you make everything smaller, you can fit another line in there.
Yeah, I'm at about 10 point right now.
Yeah, well, let's see what it looks like if you bring it down a couple points. How about this? Take a look at the copy in the editorial. Look how small that is.
Yeah.
People obviously can read that, right?
Okay.
Take a look at the ad right below. It says 409 Bavenstock Crescent. Take a look at that font size.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I'm with you. I need to wear glasses to read, so bigger is definitely better, but not at the expense of omitting the domain name.
Okay. So you
could have free recorded message smaller. Like, just play with it. Just have the people in the newspaper play with it. But that's a critical element that's not included in this ad is how do I go to your website and get this?
Okay. I've contracted with them for about 8 weeks, and I've got both earlugs, both in the weekend and the weekday on their real estate section for these spots.
And how's it working?
Well, this one here you've got ran out yesterday night. Mm-hmm. To this time now, I haven't received any calls, but it's not really giving it a good sampling yet.
Is this a daily paper?
No, that's this one. It's a biweekly paper. It comes out with 2 issues once a week. One on the weekend, which is Thursday.
Let's see what happens over the next couple of days. But if you don't get anything over the next day or so, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Mm-hmm. Because
you know where that paper is? It's in the garbage.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So I'm wondering whether to change up the ad copy itself, put something else in.
No, you've got to have the domain name. The ad's fine. Just make everything smaller. But you're not. The most popular way people get information today is from the website that does not exist here.
Okay. So would you suggest if I can't get the domain name in, either dump the ad there or?
No, you can fit the domain name in.
Okay.
Just make everything a little bit smaller, and you'll. How about what's it say at the very bottom there?
Oh, that's my disclosure. That's my company name.
I'll make that really small.
Yeah,
make everything a lot smaller. You just need room. It needs to say www and the domain name that's not huge because it's got to fit in that space.
Okay.
Okay. What if you don't? What's your location?
I'm just to the west of Toronto in Milton.
Okay. So what if it said, I've got to think of something. Okay. What if it said mustsellmilton.com?
I have that domain.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's what needs to go there.
Yeah,
You have it, and just stick it in there.
Okay.
Hey, great minds think alike.
Hey, there you go.
All right. I think it's an excellent spot, though. Perfect
Okay,
location. Yeah, you got a great spot there. If you have the right message there, it'll work. So, you got to have the proper response mechanisms. But I wouldn't give up on that message because you don't have the domain. Try it with the domain and see if it works better. If it doesn't work still, then you switch up the message.
Okay. Excellent. I shall do that. I got 8 weeks to try.
All right, good stuff. You'll figure it out in 8 weeks.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay, we have from Benny Pang. For sending out postcards, what is the best way to determine where to send them?
Okay, here's what I did. I hired a company in Toronto called IMS Incorporated, and what they did for Newmarket, for my area, is they provided me a map, and on the map there was a dot for every home that had sold. And what I noticed is some of the streets had lots of dots, or lots of sales, and some of the streets had not too many dots at all. So I knew right away what streets I wanted to send my postcards to. Now, could you do this yourself? Yeah, you could. It would take a long time, right? You'd have to go into MLS, pull off all the sales, take a map, and put all these dots on it. So you might want to call IMS, Info Marketing Systems, and I don't know what they would charge you for that. I can't remember what that cost me. But you might want to get a price on that because it's, your time is worth something. But that's the ultimate way to decide exactly what streets you want to send your postcards on. And I'm trying to find.
Why did you start your business?
Their phone number here. I think I might have it here. And their website, I just think is, I think it's imsincorporated.com. Yeah, I don't know if I have his phone number handy here. I'll look for it, and if I find it here before we're done, I'll give everybody that contact number. I've got a toll-free number somewhere on my desk for them. Let's take the next question.
Yes, sir. This comes from Bill Force. I'm having success with the 7 Costly Mistakes editorial. What ad would you suggest running next, or to run next, rather than keeping running the same ad?
Well, I would say if you're running the same ad and it's working, keep running the same ad. Remember, real estate agents have a tendency to get bored of our advertising before the public does. Just because you're sick and tired of the ad, or you perceive that the marketplace is sick and tired of the ad, doesn't mean you should stop running it. Now, on that note, though, if it's the only editorial ad you run, and you're saying, okay, it works well, on the other hand, there may be other editorial ads that we have that might even work better. So the way I would do it is I'd test a bunch of them. Whatever one works, I'd just keep running it. I wouldn't worry about the fact that, well, I keep running the same one, because the market's a moving carousel. The people reading the paper today will be different than the people tomorrow. Here's the phone number, the toll-free number for IMS. I found it. The president's name is Leon Dancona. His phone number toll-free is 877-785-4321, and you can request, what's the price going to be to map out my area, map out all the home sales, and then you'll know exactly where you should be sending your postcards. All right, let's take the next question.
Yes, sir, and this is from Christina, and I believe I have her ad pulled up. It's in reference to the URL. The www made it too small, so she took it out. So she has this for a month's worth of classified ads in this newspaper and wants to know what she should do different.
All right, is this one of the ads that was sent in?
I believe I have it pulled up right now. It's the bank-owned homes.
Okay, yep. Okay, well, a couple things you could do. You could register a shorter domain name, right? You could do that. Like how about you've got, I think it says Peninsula DistressHomes.com?
Mm-hmm.
How about, I don't know, PeninsulaDistress.com? Or how about, you know, just DistressHomes.com? Just, or how about this? Maybe it's PDHomes.com. PD stands for Peninsula Distress. You just need a shorter domain name so you can fit the www in. Now, I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying it's better with the www in it.
Okay. Hunter's postcard ad. Instead of the picture of the couple, is there another image that might work better? I would be adding a domain name on the next postcard campaign.
Well, I think a picture of the house would be some kind of picture of a home might be better than the picture of the people. But my point there was we don't want the graphic to take up space that we could allot to making a better offer or embellishing the offer. So whatever we put on our postcard, whatever we add to it, whether it's a picture or whatever, the question we always want to ask ourselves is what I'm including going to increase response? Okay, now some of the things that we include in our ads, as we've discussed many times, actually decrease response. You know, when you're advertising a home, and the point I made earlier, you say it's a 2-bedroom home on a corner lot, you've actually paid extra to add words to repel buyers. You've diminished your response. You've done the opposite of what you wanted. So with the postcard, is adding the picture of the couple adding to response? Or could we use that space differently and you know, somehow embellish our offer to get a better response? And this is why we test, right? My gut tells me that you could use that space better. But as I said to Sharon a few minutes ago, hey, if you're running this and the picture of the young couple works better than anything else that you've tested, a picture of a house or adding extra copy to that that to embellish the offer, then you go with what works. But my gut tells me I never did that. Take a look at my postcards. And this is the point I want to leave everybody with is we've designed all these campaigns for you. The postcards have all been designed. The classified ads have all been designed. The editorial ads, everything's been designed for you. So I would recommend that you just run it exactly the way we run it to start with anyway. And then if you want to test things, you want to make changes to the campaigns that we give you, at least you can compare back to the way the ad originally worked when you ran it just the way we gave it to you. Let's call that the baseline. When we give you these campaigns, these classifieds, these editorials, these postcards, that's called the baseline. So you run them exactly the way we've given them to you. That's your baseline. Now you do the testing. Okay, so you say, okay, well, I'm going to take Craig's postcard. I'm going to add a picture of a young couple. Did that increase response or decrease response? Because if you can't beat the baseline, you should stick with the baseline. If you can improve on the baseline, our ads, then go for it. At no time are we going to say we have all the answers. We're just going to say, prove to us you can beat the baseline. But that's not what some of our members do. They never ever do originally run what we give them. They say, okay, well, there's Craig's ad, and then I'll play with it. I'll change this to that, and this to that, and this to that. And then they complain that, well, my advertising's not working. This system isn't working, when in fact they never have actually ran the ads we've given them. So check out your website. Make sure you've got the right landing pages. Yes, we refer you to vendors, but we don't have ultimate control over the vendors. But you do, because you're paying them. See, I'm not paying them, but you're paying them. So they got to get it right. So YorkRegionHomeInfo.com. Go there and check out your landing pages. If they're giving you something different on Craigslist than the campaigns we're giving you, I would definitely question that. You know, I would talk to whoever you're talking to at Success, and if they're giving you something different on Craigslist, I would ask that person, how many homes did you sell last year? Okay, there's got to be a reason to change the ads, and the reason can't be, well, we felt like it. And especially if you're running ads that aren't working. Once again, I'll repeat this. Run the ads just the way we've laid them out. That's what you're paying for. And if you want to play with them after that, fine. At least you've got a baseline. At least you know how well they worked exactly the way they were laid out. That's what you're paying for. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up for today. It's Friday, so you guys have a great weekend. Go sell some houses and have yourself a great weekend. I enjoyed being here with you today. Hope you enjoyed the webinar as well. And Andrea, thanks again for your help.
My pleasure. Thank you, Craig.
Take care, and that concludes today's Ad Clinic.